Okay.
We are
Good.
good. We are, John.
Okay. So I'll start with saying that today, Roxborough High School, they dismissed around 2:30 p.m. Officers are usually here to help with dismissal, which was done today as well. After dismissal, at some point, there was a scrimmage game down on the field between three high schools, Roxborough High School, Northeast High School, and Boys Latin Charter. That ended around 4:30 p.m. As those students, those players, are walking northbound up Peacham. We know at this point in time at least two individuals ambushed a group of students that are walking northbound on Peacham, striking five students total. Four of those students were transported to the local hospitals. Unfortunately, one of them, a 14-year-old boy, was pronounced at 5:09 p.m. The fifth student was treated here for a graze wound. Very active scene still at this point in time. But like I said, as we know, we have at least two shooters that opened fire on these group of students that are pretty much finishing up a game.
They come up in a green. What are the shooters in as they come up here?
So we don't have that information at this point in time. We just know that from what we've gathered thus far, there are at least two shooters that we can identify are shooting at these students. They flee from this location on foot, and that's about where we have at this point in time. There are multiple cameras in the area, which we obviously have to pull and review those for the video footage to see what more we can gather. But that's what we have right now. Very early, very preliminary. Again, the biggest piece of this is that there's a 14-year-old that is doing what, again, students do, have football games at the end of the day. One of the things that we encourage our kids to do, and then for him not to make it home. And so there's a family today, again, not taking anything away from the other families, but there's one family that their son won't make it home today, and that's the big part of this.
Were they on Roxborough High School?
Roxborough High School, at this point that we know in terms of the kids that were injured, yes.
All the victims, Roxborough High School.
Yes.
Do you have any idea the relationship between the shooters and the victims? Like any idea if there was maybe a fight before?
Still too early to know. Again, at this point we're trying to pull as much information as we possibly can in terms of if anything occurred earlier in the day that led to this. Obviously, we'll be looking at social media, all the investigative steps in terms of to determine what actually happened. I don't want to go too far into anything that may be early information because, as you know, this changes very rapidly as we continue to go on.
You've got a lot of markers down there. You've got I mean, you know how many shots were fired? There are a lot down there.
I don't, but a lot in terms of the firepower we see at multiple scenes. And this scene here, unfortunately, is no different in the sense of multiple casings down there.
Caliber? You know the caliber of the weapon?
I don't.
Is there any identifying anything that you can tell us about the two suspects at this point? Any age range?
Not at this point. In terms of, again, still trying to gather enough information so that it's accurate. I mean, again, I know trying to get it out there as quickly as possible is always a priority, but we just want to have the opportunity to at least make sure that what we're giving is the right stuff.
How disturbing is it that this happens in daylight to kids?
I think you can see by the crowd behind me, right, in terms of the amount of folks that respond to an incident like this. It shows in terms of, one, how disturbing it is, but two, we keep having these same conversations, day in and day out. And again, I don't know who's missing the conversation, but we just have to keep doing as much as we possibly can, because again, this at this point, we don't need to keep having these conversations, and something has to stop. And we're going to work together to figure that out, but it has to be immediate because this can't continue.
All the most serious injured were all players, all in practice uniforms, all football players, every one of them?
In terms of, I don't know, in the ones that were injured?
Yes.
I don't know, honestly, Jeff, whether in terms of what uniforms they were in or if they had started to take off their gear all along this way.
But these are all players?
They're all players.
All of them were players?
All of them were players that we've identified thus far, yeah.
Do you have any message for parents?
The biggest message, I guess, in the sense of, try and talk to your kids. And again, if you know your kids are involved in something, even if you're not sure, have a conversation about what this means. Death is final. And I know a lot of kids see things, they see TV, they hear things, and but I don't know how many of them understand that this is final. Death is final. You don't come back from that. And so I guess the message I can say is, if have that important conversation with your kids. It's better to have that conversation and to get them if they need help or whatever it may be. But that's about as best as I can say with that.
What is your message to the shooters?
You probably don't have the enough beeps for me to give that. But again, the only thing I can say to that is, you know, put the guns down. And if there is something that folks need, if there are issues that need to be resolved, let's find other ways to resolve conflict. Unfortunately, and as sad as it's going to sound, the shooters probably are not listening to this broadcast, right? And so we sometimes spread that message to the folks that don't need to hear it. Hopefully there's a way that this will resonate through their parents, maybe relatives, or some other way. I want to turn it over to give Dr. Watlington the opportunity to speak.
Good afternoon. I am personally disturbed by and quite frankly angry with this senseless act of violence, and it's unacceptable. And certainly on behalf of all of us in the school district, our hearts and prayers go out to the families of today.
You're brand new here, really brand new. What do you make of the violence in this city, particularly perpetrated on young people?
I think it's absolutely unacceptable. Schools have always been centers of community and will continue to be, and so it's absolutely unacceptable.
Are you what kind of resources are you going to have for the kids?
We have supports here, and I'll ask Chief Kevin Bethel, our Chief of Safety, if he'll say a couple words
we'll
about
have
that.
a very strong trauma support team from our support services. We'll be responding to the school. Our principal is here, to lead that effort in her school. It's going to be it's a challenge. I mean, you see her, she's been in tears and struggling through this process, but we will work as a team to make sure that we have all the supports in the school to be able to support the school leaders, the school staff, the school community, the folks. I mean, look around. I mean, this is in a community. There's a parking lot right next door. Anyone could have been struck by these. These schools used to be a safe place. We had that conversation, Jeff. This used to be a safe haven for our young people. And to see that now that our young people can't even come in a scrimmage game and be shot is totally unacceptable.
Is there any way for you to defend against this? I mean, you had security here. These guys pull up and fire on football players.
I mean, when you have these many guns on our streets, this is the downstream impact of that. Everybody's got a gun. Everybody wants to use a gun. And me and the doc were talking about it. It used to be a hand fight. It's now a gun fight. That was a cowardly act today, to come out and ambush people coming off a ball field. That makes you tough? I think not. And so these guns, and the more these kids have guns in their hands, the more they're likely to use them. And you see what they have. They don't care where they're at now. No matter where they are, they feel that they can get away with shooting. And now you come to the steps. Right? We've been at this, as the first deputy said, how many times we've got to come to these schools and have a kid shot outside the school for people to start to respond and understand we have to do something different. Doing the same thing over and over again is futile. And we have to be, start to move in that direction of changing how we respond.
What does that look like?
Well, listen.
What do you want to say to parents and kids who are scared to go to school, fear of getting shot?
Listen, I don't want to, to monopolize the time. I mean, despite all of that, we still are confident that our schools are a safe place. The schools, when you look at all the violence across the city, we still say that our schools are the safest place for our young people to come. And we will work with the team here and the police department, who've been an immense partner in this space, to broaden. And now we didn't have to feel like we had to cover scrimmage games now. The police department has been a very effective leader in helping us in our adult leagues, our older kids, and our high school games, and at our super sites. Now we have to cover scrimmage games and practice. I mean, we have kids out in their playing fields across the city, enjoying after school time. What we're trained to do, what we're supposed to do with our young people. And so we'll just have to go back and talk to the team to see if we even have to expand even further.
It's the younger grades too. It's the younger.
I don't know if that's a question or is
well,
okay.
The schools are safe, the streets aren't, right? This happens in the street outside the school. At the end of the day, yeah.
Absolutely. I think I'll let Dr. Watson talk about. But we work hard to keep our schools safe inside the interior.
How do you see kids affected by this?
Listen, the amount of the Dr. Height. Sorry about that. Dr. Watson.
I'll say that our young people already are traumatized by the pandemic and the effects of learning loss over the past 2.5 years, and a lot of other challenges just being a young person these days. And certainly unacceptable gun violence like this does not help anything. So we're always asking ourselves, how are the children? And quite frankly, many of our children are not well. So we absolutely have to believe that we can do better in our city, and we have to do better. Thank you, and we're going to turn it over to our district attorney, I believe.
So I have to tell you, I'm absolutely outraged. I'm shocked. I frankly am a little shaken. This is horrifying, what is happening out here I feel for, obviously, all the families, all the students. I can't even look at the principal, imagining what she's going through. This is just a horrifying situation at every level. Schools are supposed to be the answer. They're supposed to be the answer. We keep kids in schools so they don't get involved in the shooting. And what happens when we have shooting outside the schools? The remedy has to be a safe place. People have to be able to go there and do positive, constructive things like play football. They have to be able to do that. So this is, to me, just heartbreaking and shocking. I can tell you that from the investigative perspective, it is encouraging to see that we have excellent investigators out here. We have the chief of the forensics unit. And without getting more specific, I know that some cutting-edge forensics are being used. We have people carefully gathering video. I see guys with ATF jackets. The feds are out here. It's very encouraging to see that there's such a strong investigative effort, a strong team effort in that regard. But we all know that the answer is not just to solve this crime. The answer is that we cannot have crimes like this. They have to be prevented. We have to not have these things happen again.
What's the solution to that? Because Philadelphia has been dealing with this crime crisis for the last few years now. What do you want to say to residents who say this has gone out of control?
This is a terrible situation that is going on here. As I'm sure you know, there are a lot of efforts at the state, local, and federal level to deal with it, not only here but elsewhere. But this is horrifying. There's no other way to put it.
Does aggressive prosecution of people who carry guns end this in some way?
Well, as you know, our success in actually getting convictions for people who are killing other people with guns, our success rate is very high. It's close to 90% by the time that we get to trial. That is the result of people in our office who are extremely skilled and work very hard, even though we don't have the resources. You may also know that according to the House of Representatives and its report released in June of this year, that the sentences for possession of guns are longer in Philadelphia than any other category of cities. Long sentences are happening here, longer than the rest of the state, but it did not stop this. We have to work not only on modern enforcement, but we have to work every way we can on prevention, so this is not happening again. And with those two things together, we can make progress. I think the whole city is united. I think they all recognize the importance of cutting-edge, modern, capable enforcement, but also of a bigger investment in prevention.